Good morning, everybody. We are now in Florida in a new rental car. And would you look at that? They gave me another Corolla, but I'm not mad though because this thing is self-driving and all that kind of fancy stuff. So it's been a blast to drive, but it's morning and we're about to start our day, so we definitely need a coffee. That's our coffee and breakfast sorted. Now let's head to the compound and show you my drift car for the LZ Invitational. We just got to LZ's compound and there is so much to get done and unpack now that we're here. I need to obviously show you the car that we're gonna be driving for the LZ Invitational. Really excited to show you guys that. But then we've also got to organize things like tires, wheels, and then just prep the car, maintenance, all that kind of thing, and get it ready for the LZ Invitational. As you guys know, last year, we had some pretty bad luck with the car that we had, and then we changed to another car, which also wasn't that great or set up right. And it was just not like the most competitive car there, and we were just kind of dealt a bad hand of cars. Now going into this, I definitely feel like I'm a lot more comfortable on the left side of the car, and I think like I can probably drive, I would say at least like equivalent to like 70% of what I would normally drive in a right-hand drive car. If I get a bit more seat time practice, because I know like Adam's gonna put some time tomorrow for us to drive here at the compound, or we might be able to go to OSW for a practice day, which all depends on weather. But yeah, it'll be really cool if I can just get some seat time, get more comfortable on the left-hand side of the car. But there's just so much to get done. One thing I want to show you is this flipping wall of Blitz 03s behind us. You can see everyone's really busy in the shop right now, but look at this. I definitely need to get myself at least a couple sets of Blitz 03s at some point soon, because otherwise LZ's gonna buy them all. Oh, I love this one, how it hasn't been chromed yet. Super OG. Sick.
Hello guys, welcome back to today's video. This is SAMMIT here and I'm in America. Actually, I'm in the swamp.
We're in the swamp, yeah, we are in swampland. We are at LZ's compound and we're currently on our way to pick up my new drift car for the LZ Invitational.
To be fair, this is the nicest weather I've ever seen in Florida.
It's beautiful, right? It's cool but warm and it's perfect. I love it. You know what? Kind of reminds me like Queensland back in Australia, which is weird. You're Queensland. Well, here she is. This is the car that I'm going to be drifting for the LZ Invitational. And it might look similar. Most of you guys should actually know this car. And that's because this is TJ's car. He uses this and keeps it down in Florida for pretty much any kind of fun event or anything like that, like as a beta car, like a missile, if you could call it that. For pretty much just when he doesn't want to use his pretty cars or get them shipped up and down and everything, because that's quite expensive, right? Shipping your cars across the USA costs a lot of money. And when he can just keep like a good beta car like that, he can still make a bunch of events and drive with all of us down here or whatever's going on, right? And this car, before TJ owned it, was actually Meska's car, and it's been on a ton of drift weeks, and it's a tested and proven really good car. But the best thing about it is it's relatively stock. Despite having nice wide body kit, pretty decent paint job, it's got all the good stuff on here that pretty much any Z needs to party. I can already see it's got a nice Tomei titanium exhaust there, and it's got some door marks. It's got a full FDF angle kit in there, which is great. I've never actually driven an FDF kit on a Z, so I'm excited to feel what that feels like. But yeah, it's a good Z. Everything inside the car is pretty much all set up, ready to rip. It's got a couple set of, I think these are Bridezetta 3s by the looks of it. And we've got LZ's wheel, we've got a hydro, we've even still got the stock handbrake, which I think is awesome. And everything's pretty much good to go. Oh, full roll cage too, like welded in, nice cage. It's pretty much a good sit in and go package. We'll pop the hood quick. I don't even think this thing has intakes on it, but I do believe it has some kind of maybe like up rev tune on it. But look at this thing. Yeah, stock air boxes and everything. That's it. I believe it may have an underglow kit or something. But let me start this car up and you guys tell me, because I think it has like a burble tune on there, which is kind of ironic and funny. But, oh yeah, I gotta use clutch for this, hang on. American cars, not used to this. So listen to this when I rev it. Doesn't matter what I do, on decel it just does that. So I think it's got some kind of tune or something on there, I don't really know, but it's a little obnoxious and ignorant, but I still love it. You probably wouldn't get away with that too well in Japan. But we're in America, so we're gonna send it. Before we do anything with the car though, I just want to say a massive thank you to TJ. When we were hanging out in Japan and I was talking to him about the LZ Invitational and I didn't really know what I was going to do with the car or anything at that point, he pretty much was like, bro, I'll throw you the keys to the 350Z, don't even worry about it. And ever since then, I haven't had to stress about trying to find a rental car or anything like that. I'd rather just drive something that I know is tested and proven off the bat, and hopefully we can avoid having any kind of issues or anything like that. Especially last year, it was pretty rough for us. But this year we're going in with a tested and proven car. Thank you so much, TJ. Now, we need to do some maintenance and check over this entire thing. It's obviously not my car. I want to make sure everything's all good. And I think the last time TJ drove this, he did a huge burnout at Hyperfest. Whole rear end of the car like caught on fire and stuff, I think. So I think it's good that we do. Now, let's get this thing to the shop, take it for a little drive and see what it feels like. It's gonna take a while for me to get used to using my right hand for shifting, but I think we're good. Ooh, don't forget the stock e-brake. Off the bat, ooh. Front end does feel a bit twitchy, so we're gonna definitely bolt check everything there. It's super important to do that with any kind of angle kit these days. But like, I think this thing even has AC, which is sick. Oh, it sounds so ignorant. I love it, I love it. I want my Z in Japan to sound like this. So good. Oh, look at all the boys here. Yeah, front end does feel a little loose. We'll get that checked out. First step on this car, and despite it not being mine, it's important that we make sure we do a bolt check on everything. I think the last time TJ drove this, he did a huge burnout in it and then it just sat after that. So you can see the tires are completely destroyed, and there's remnants of a fire in here and stuff, a rubber fire. So we'll probably give this thing a pressure clean once we're done bolt checking it. But I want to make sure nothing has come loose. When we are using crazy angle kits like FDF, WiseFab, Just Engineering and stuff like that, we're pushing the car to the limit and we're pushing what they've built us to the limit, and things get loose. I'm about to show you guys your worst nightmare. It's everywhere. Nothing is in order. This is like making my OCD go crazy, but I know the tools that we need are somewhere in here. I just gotta find them. So we're gonna go over everything and make sure everything is tight so that we have no problems when we shred this car over the weekend. And this is why we bolt check, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that one. So we're gonna tighten that up, but everything else I've gone over and been paint marking. As you can see, these 14s were loose on both sides. Also, where the tie rod goes in here, this bolt here was loose and that was creating a bunch of play in the Heim joint. But now that's all good and no more play there since we tightened it. And just been going over everything and paint marking as well, so that makes our life a lot easier when we want to go over this again in the future, or whoever's looking at it next. But yes, we're gonna go tighten this, mark it up, and hopefully we don't have any problems. The only other thing I want to do under here is put some heat sleeving. You can see they did it here, but this is actually where your clutch line heats up the most from on Z's, because it's right next to the exhaust there. And on Z's, when this gets too hot, your clutch pedal disappears, and after a couple laps, that's all it takes, and it gets weird. So we'll fix that too. you may have actually seen us machining this nut just now on the lathe, and the reason for that was because this was bottoming out on the nut and leaving a gap there. So it was so loose that we could never get this tight. So we machined some material off the inside of that nut. Another way to fix that would have been to have a big washer, but we didn't have a big one, so we went with that, and now we're all good. So I brought the car back down. We are done for today. I'm trying to see if we can save this battery. I've got this charger on there, and I'm doing a recondition mode. So I'm hopeful that we can bring it back. If not, we'll buy a new one tomorrow. And then the only other thing we got to do is replace a broken wheel stud in the back. Should be quick and easy. Tomorrow I want to take this thing for a shakedown at OSW. So we're going to try and smash that out first thing in the morning, get those parts from the parts store. But otherwise, that's it. 350Z drift car is ready. I'm also thinking about doing something funny. Obviously this is TJ's car and he has like Hunt & Co on the side of it everywhere. So I'm just going to see if we can maybe whip up like a funny sticker to kind of just like maybe make it like just like SAMMIT & Co or Hunt and an Australian word after that. Like, you know, this part here, there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe make that a little bit funny. This is my wheel situation for this weekend. LZ was kind enough to let me use the wheels that he has spare for his Z. So I'm going to be mounting all of these up and getting that ready. And probably just going to be running 265s on the rear. I think everyone's like restricted to a 265 on the rear, which is great. I mean, it gives us all kind of like a fair chance. And then in the front, I'm going to be running some grippy, just, I don't know yet, but some grippy 235s in the front, and we should be good. I need to make sure everything clears with this offset, but I think we should be okay because I know LZ runs Wisefab in his Z, but I'm pretty certain it's quite similar to the FDF, so we should be okay. This is Donnie, everybody. What are you working on? Ooh.
We're working on the 2-jet.
Is this the first prize? First place?
First place.
Nice. You know, I'm more interested in what's on your back on the graphic for third place than that.
Yeah, the SR?
Yeah, man. It's the VE one in the corner over there, right?
Yeah.
The like, you know.
The VVL.
The VVL, what is that, like a 800 horsepower motor over there or something?
Yeah, something like that, straight from
That looks
Mazworks.
good. Damn, that really came up brand new.
Yeah.
And you've already done the lower section, hey?
Done the lower section.
Wow. One thing that I love about the compound is that Drift HQ is right here. So at any given point in time when something needs to be replaced or upgraded or breaks on the Z, we're good. The guy's got us. In the shop now, Marco's busy trying to get that super finished, but I'm just having a good squiz at LZ's 15, getting some inspiration from my car. Really cool setup. Man, so wild. This thing's changed so much since I last saw it as well. I love how clean the interior is. I didn't even realize that the hydro was mounted in the back like that too. That's actually really smart and fun. Oh man, that's sick. I still think my favorite mod is how he did the fade paint on the bride seats. Very cool. And I kind of want to go to something like this again instead of the carbon quarters, because I find that having this open is still good for visual, like when I'm moving the car and whatnot. But it's just cool seeing the rear mount radiator and everything going on in here, and very cool. I love how that's like integrated so well into the rear glass panel. Oh, and these just come straight out of the top. That's great. Man. Just so much on this car, like so much intricate details that like you would miss. And like I'd have to spend so much time just looking over this car. I love this so much. Livery looks sick too. Just finished mounting all the tires. These old Zestinos that we're using on the front were a little bit harder to put on just because the sidewalls are a lot stiffer on these. But I haven't driven on Zestinos in like at least like 5 years. These are a very old tire now. I didn't know that they were still sold in the US, but also you can probably see that they're discolored a bunch, and that's because these were like literally deep in the flood water in the tire shed when the whole compound got flooded. I hope you guys are excited about the car that we're driving. Fingers crossed we have no issues and the event goes really, really well. I'm not aiming for any position. I'm not trying to be competitive whatsoever. I'm just out there to have fun and drive with the friends. See you in the next one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.